Hello Commanders, I'm Commander GremlinSpotter, and in this video I'm going to talk about how to take a bigger ship like a Cutter or an Anaconda and land it on a planet like Achenar 3, which this is the Achenar 3 right here. It's a 6.7 G planet, so a lot of people are a little scared about how many G's it is. However, if you just put a couple of rules in and you do what I say on this video, you should be able to make it down without any problem. Main thing you want to remember is to try to stay off your up and down thrust until you're just about ready to land, as that has a significant impact on these higher G planets. This one right here being a 6.7, you can probably get away with it. I wouldn't overuse it. Use it once maybe. Actually, I'm gonna say I wouldn't use it at all, because I experimented with it a little bit, and at about 12 kilometers I would hit the down thrust and I lost 6 to 7 kilometers. Just trying to get, hoping to stay alive. So that's a pretty aggressive move on one of these kind of planets, so I'd advise against it. The only time you should use your down thrust, in my opinion, on these higher G planets is once you've got your ship over the area where you're going to land, and I would suggest you get maybe 50 meters from the surface before you initiate dropping down. So get to that 50 meters, find a nice good spot where your ship is blue, which means it's ready to land, and then hit the down thrust. You're going to come down pretty hard. You probably damage your shields a little bit, but you'll make it down. And the real important thing is doesn't matter how steep you come in during the orbital cruise. That's not so important. What's important is when you come out of your dive, right? The glide, you want to be kind of even. You basically want to pull out of it. So typically you come out around 5 to 8 kilometers from the surface, so you can come down pretty quick. Like, you can be at a 40 degree 35 degree nose down through most of that glide, and then once you get to close to 20, I'd start leveling it out real slowly, pulling up, and so that when you hit about 8-7 kilometers, you're about 5 degrees down, and just let it come out naturally. And you'll see that your vertical speed should be in the red at this point, but as soon as you come out of that, if you're at about 5 degrees, you'll see that come right on up into a normal, a nominal looking area where it's not going to be so scary. And then really you don't even need power too much. If you want to gain speed, you just dip your nose and you'll start gaining speed. Again, if you want to keep an eye on your vertical speed, I wouldn't worry about my lateral speed so much. I'd worry more about my vertical speed. If that starts to get 3 or 4 bars, I'd pull my nose back up to maybe 5 or 0, and you'll notice those will go back up to level again. So basically what you see here is I'm kind of getting through, just I'm taking a little easy on this one. Like I said, you can do some experimentation on this one without getting in too much trouble. But I just kind of want to make this a nice easy landing, because I knew I'd be filming this one to show everybody. So basically I'm kind of looking for a good spot to land. I don't like this purple area, or this pinkish area I'm seeing right here. It looks really hilly. I'm pretty sure I turned. Here we are on the glide. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and I don't like that area. I'm gonna try to find a smoother area to maybe try to make a landing. The other important thing to remember, well, always have a rebuy, because sometimes things can get out of hand really quick, and you can still hurt yourself on this planet. This planet is still liable to destroy your ship, even with some mistakes. However, if you're going to do an experimentation to try to get used to high G landings, I would suggest you do it at the higher altitudes, not right here where we're at right now. This is fairly low to be doing any kind of experimentation. But yeah, like I said, basically I'm just going to put my nose down and try to get a little bit of speed. I want to get down because I want to land this thing. So I typically am not going to let it go more than 3 or 4 bars down on the vertical. If I see it go more than that, I'm going to start lifting my nose up. I only really use thrusters once I get closer to the ground and I'm looking for a spot to land. That's when because once you get your landing gear out, you're going to slow down quite a bit. So it's a good idea just to keep pushing your nose down and pulling it back up, depending on how fast you want to go and how fast you're going down. And just kind of porpoise your way all the way down to the landing. And I'm pretty sure I get about like 50 meters here before I actually use it. If you're on a higher G planet, I would suggest you get closer to 30 meters, which is almost basically landing. But And you want to make sure you have a really good spot. You don't want to find one of those finicky little blue areas where every time you make a move it turns red. I wouldn't suggest landing on those, because if you don't come down on it just right, the heavier G planets have a tendency, especially with anacondas, to roll them over. I don't know if they could do it with a cutter because of the wings, but the anaconda, I have noticed, will roll over on itself on the higher G planets if you're on kind of like an incline in the river trying to land. So on those kind of planets, I would definitely make sure that you've got a really good area where it's nice and flat, so that's not an issue. So here, yeah, I'm running pretty hot with the with my throttles. Oh no, that's me. I'm down on throttles. That's all speed. That's for me just put my nose down. So I'm keeping it in the blue by doing that. And that's a good place to stay. You want to keep your throttle in the blue, or at least keep the speed in the blue. Now you don't get out of control. You don't get out of nothing gets too crazy. So putting my I've already put my gear down. There it is. So now we're really starting to slow down. I'm pretty sure I'm going to apply some power here shortly. I'm going to start going a little too slow, and I want to get down. Yeah, so right now I'm just relying on putting my nose down to get that speed. But eventually you can get too close to the ground and you won't be able to put your nose down anymore, so that's when you can apply some of your engine power. So this looks like a really good area. It looks like it's going to be a good area to land. You know, there's some hills right there. Again, like I said, this is a really good place to practice your landings on higher G planets and get used to it, if that's your thing. That's, you know, and if you want to go out and try strong G, which is about 2,000 light years from the bubble, so that's a pretty close one, and that's a 9.77 G. Yeah, see, I've got some blue there. I'm still not gonna land there. I still feel like I'm too high, so I'm gonna push on and see if I can't find a better landing spot. See, there I go, applying power. I'm too low to put my nose down anymore and get speed, so now I'm gonna have to rely on my actual engines to get me there. So I'm getting pretty low. This looks like a really good area. See all this blue right here? This is a perfect area to land. So I'm just looking for another good one like that, and I think, yeah, this is pretty much where I decided this is where I'm gonna land. So I'm gonna back up. And I'll go forward. Okay, there we go. And this is where I'm gonna initiate the landing. There we go, and we are down. I had a little bit of damage to the outer ring of shields, but there you go, a cutter on a 6.7 G planet landing. I'd like to thank you for watching my video. If you learned something new or enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. I appreciate your support on my channel. In the links below, you can find other high G landings. I'd like to invite you to check me out on Mixer and join me in my exploration adventures, or come join me in a conversation on Discord. Links to both can be found below. Please tell me in the comments below, what's the highest G planet that you've attempted or successfully landed on? That's all I've got for this video, but thanks for watching and happy scanning, Commander.